Hey, what's up, guys? Terminator292 here for the Gloom Talk podcast, and joining with me, I have Wolfer, Temptr, and Subby. Guys, intro yourselves away.
Hello. This is Wolfer. Glad to be back, your original host for the Gloom podcast. And today we have a returning guest, Temptr. How are you today, man?
I'm having a great time. Thank you for having me back here. It's very warm and cozy in this call. I'm ready to talk about my favorite game, Wayfinder.
Nice. And we also have a special guest, Subby from the Guild. How are you going today, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just tired, but it is what it is. Here to talk about the game.
Nice. Very glad to have you guys here.
Okay, so for those that are new to the podcast and getting to know us, here's a little bit about us. So we're Retribution Gaming, and we started out 12 years ago in a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic. In the game's peak, we ended up becoming the EU's largest guild over on the Red Eclipse server. We had 1,000+ players. We had 20+ stack raid teams. We were dominating in Conquest weekly, unchallenged, first place each and every week. But eventually, Star Wars stopped making raids for a time, and we ended up moving on from the game, and that brings me on to the next game of Guild Wars 2. So, going into Guild Wars 2, we downscaled. We really didn't want the full-time commitment. Some of us were having kids, getting different jobs, etc. So we went for the smaller downscale in Guild Wars 2, and instead had a couple of stack raid teams throughout the years in that. But I met some of the nicest people in that game. Eventually, we ended up chasing the DPS leaderboards and managed to get ourselves on there on multiple bosses. And then Guild Wars stopped making raids and strikes weren't really cutting it for us. So we decided to look for a new game for quite a while, and we ended up here at Wayfinder, which is now our new permanent home. So let's get on with our first topic, right? And that's going to be the new display that we have going on.
Yeah.
The podcast, we made some slight adjustments to going forward. We needed to up our game and quality a bit. So what we've now done, as you can tell, is on the left-hand side, there's now going to be a screen where you can see some gameplay going on, or if we're looking at patch notes, you see the patch notes with us, bits and bobs. And if we're showing, if we're talking with Temptr right now, you're going to be seeing his YouTube, his Twitch, anything like that, so you guys can visually see what they're doing on their channels as well. And just hopefully entertains you a little more than just looking at some bright lights swirl around for about
screen.
Yeah.
No, this is all very exciting stuff. Thanks, Bing, old host of the podcast, and for getting all this together, and also Tom as well for working on it.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting going forward. And what this does open us up to going forward, if we want to as well, we can go on cams. It doesn't just have to be like the old setup. We can actually put ourselves on here at some point when everyone's comfortable doing so. And we can always show what it is that we're talking about all the time. So if we're saying, look, go watch our Dread Legion video, if you're finding that too hard, we can actually show you the Dread Legion video, the thumbnail and parts of it on there as well. So pretty cool stuff.
Very exciting stuff. But yeah, well, with that out the way, we can probably get to the first topic today, which is probably long overdue. We were probably meant to do this last week, to be honest, but we were trying to get this stuff sorted with the whole visuals and the new revamp. But I think if the people from Retribution Gaming, the guild, are listening, we actually had a housing contest recently, and today we were very excited to announce the winners of who had the dopest apartment. And yeah, I think we'll get to the first winner, Tom.
So yeah, let me just quickly give some backdrop to this. So this event was hosted by Bing originally, because Bing was doing a monthly fashion contest. So this event was on all last month. So basically, we done a fashion video on the YouTube channel. And then, like, because Wayfinder's new, there's not a lot of outfits, right? So we don't want to immediately do another fashion contest because otherwise it's just going to be kind of the same stuff, just in different colorings. So while we're giving time for Wayfinder to get some more cosmetics in, allow people to change it up, we thought we'd do a housing one because we really don't know what people's tastes are and place and stuff, right? So it'd be cool to kind of see that for some people. Because of the way the game has gone, there are less entries in this one because one, it's a housing contest, may not be everyone's cup of tea compared to the fashion stuff. And two, the population took a big hit. Our guild took a big hit. Like, we still got the numbers in the Discord right now, but there's a lot of people waiting to play this game and waiting for like content to come out, the game to be fixed more, all that stuff. So yeah, didn't have as many entries, but still enough to get this under wraps. So, you know what? I'm actually going to say start with third place and work your way up.
Yeah, of course.
Draw it out a bit.
Yeah. I mean, even though like we saw less entries, there was still a fair bit of entries. So we're gonna do 3 winners today. So there's gonna be third, second, and first place, and then third place. We'll just get right to it. Is gonna be Chocolate from our guild. He's also Team Knights represent. And I really loved his house. You looking at the first picture, you come in, and then you got like the nice little Storm Twins artifact with a little new decoration, like medieval theme. In the next image, you got like a nice little bed with like the little jelly artifact. I can see his nice little the Grand Deceiver artifact, his chest. I think as like a little storage inventory. Not sure if that's what we're meant to be using it for, but here we are. What else do we have?
Hey,
I like
whatever
his
works,
little
right?
yeah, whatever works, right? I really enjoyed his like little dining area. It just opens up where you can have people over, and then you have like the first artifacts, like a little flat on the little windowsill, and then you got a bunch of like other little trinkets with the trickster artifacts as well, which is just kind of like just chilling there. And then to the little side, you have his like I think it's like little like work area with this calligraphy set. And then just some storage with like I think he likes to make swords. I think there's a sword sharpening little area to the side, so I don't know, I think it's pretty dope. So congrats, Chocolate. You got third place for your little entry. And then second place, drum roll, we got Unsociable from Retribution Gaming. He has a really nice I liked his like very open flow apartment. So if you kind of go in to his apartment, you can see there's a lot of wall decorations. I see he's got the strike mechanic stuff that you can see on the walls there. That's pretty cool. Simple bed. I like his little like bird and a little like all his little pets are there where you can just like hang out and play with them, which is really nice. And then again on the windowsill, you got a couple of little like artifacts, which seems to be a common thing right now. Everyone's got like all these little artifacts, which is really nice to see. And then what I really liked about Unsociable on the right side is he seems to have like his own beer brewing little area there, which is really nice. So I mean, if you could, I would like to taste that one day. That looks really nice. And I thought that was something like really different, and that was really cool to see. So
What I
congrats,
actually like,
Unsociable.
what I like about
Mm.
this one, right, is the fact that he actually got his Senja waving. He's kind of incorporated his character more into the screenshot rather than
Yeah.
like a lot of people's was just I'm just gonna snapshot and my Wayfinder's back will be turned, but he's actually tried to work that in. So I'll give him credit. It is a Senja
Yep.
after all, but hey,
Yeah.
points for trying there, buddy.
Yeah.
What I do think
No,
is I think what's really clean about it is the bed is in a different position than the normal like default bed. I think that's really good. I don't know. That was a big thing I noticed because I didn't move my bed.
I love that. I didn't even pick up on that. There you go. The good spot attempt. Yeah, no, I thought he did a really good job. And then we'll get all our thoughts on the first place. But I genuinely thought this was a really cool apartment. And this goes to hats off to Monster Cat, arguably our like biggest grinder in the guild, so thoroughly deserved because this is a monster of an apartment. And then yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. There's just so much cool stuff. I love his I guess double bed arrangement with his like cute little jelly on the side. He got all the little pets. Let's see his like other stuff. I love the Harlequin orb on the as like a disco ball, as like a little lighting feature, which is really dope. We got his like little dining area. He's got like a little shisha bar, which is really cute, and obviously his kitchen stuff. Really neatly organized. I love his pets as well. He's got the little spider. I think he was the first person to get the spider, to be honest. Finishing the rewards tower, so it's nice to see that's chilling there. And then yeah, it's just really nicely done. So congrats, Monster. What do you guys think? Do you guys like his apartment
I
or?
I gotta give this guy, because this guy
Mm.
plays 24/7. This
Mm-hmm.
he is one of Rhett's biggest grind. Like, I feel like when the devs go on about hardcore players, right, in terms of
Mm.
like time spent in the game, this guy is right out there in that top 1 percentile. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he is everything here is grinded, and a lot of this stuff he had really early in the game as well, where he spent
Mm-hmm.
so long getting it. Like, there are
Yeah.
stuff in this that not even the active players right now are getting because of RNG and stuff. But this guy's played it that much.
Yeah.
RNG doesn't matter with him. He's getting it.
There is
Actually,
I see. Yeah, I just see
sorry,
Tep.
you
You're
go, you
pointing
go.
out some stuff. Yeah, what is that? Explain to us what.
I was just about to talk about this. I don't know what I'm looking at the left bed with the purple blanket with the fur. I'm
Mm-hmm.
highlighting like this looks like a potion or like some sort of glowing like I don't want to say like artifact or like
It's like an orange color
statue
Oh,
or
little.
something.
I think
Yeah.
maybe that's there was a item in a shop. That was like a parrot kind of. I think maybe that
Oh.
it's like a parrot on
I
like
just didn't recognize it.
yeah. And there's
Yeah.
like
Right. Right. Oh, there you go. I mean, like he beat us to it. Like we're stumped.
but
Yeah. So
overall,
no, congrats.
yeah, really nice apartment. I mean, it's yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
Tom said, it's probably one of the most detailed
Yeah.
apartments we have in this guild. So props to him.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that's our housing contest. Thank you guys so much for participating. All entries were very very nicely done, and then we'll also have another monthly contest coming up hopefully soon as well before season 2 hits, which is going to be very exciting. So please
So
join the guild and interact with us.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so what I wanted to actually say on that, right, is those
Mm-hmm.
watching, come and join the Discord. You'll find the link
Mm-hmm.
in the description, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can come and join the community side of it if you don't want to commit to the guild, okay? Right, there's no commitment from just dropping in into as a
Mm-hmm.
community member. The next event we do is going to be open to everyone, guild
Mm-hmm.
and community. I don't know what type of event it's going to be, whether it be fashion or housing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be something that you can all come onto the Discord and post into the channel and show off your stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we'd love to have many
the
entries.
more the more people that enter these, the bigger prizes we're gonna have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for this one it was only 500 rune silver just from where we
Mm-hmm.
only had so many. Where the fashion one was, I think, was a little bit more or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like 1,000 or 1,500 or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The more people that get involved with this, the bigger the prizes are going to be. And when I say that, more for the top 3 that we pick. There's not going to
Mm-hmm.
be more winners. It's going to be bigger. So right now, I think it's only first place that's getting rune silver, right? We'll
Mm-hmm.
eventually expand that onto second and third, and with larger amounts to really up the ante. So if you
Mm-hmm.
guys want a chance at winning some free rune silver on a monthly event, there's one way you can do it right there. And all you got to
Mm-hmm.
do is just post some pictures of
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah, sounds good. It's like a good deal to me.
You also get a really cool Discord rank, I guess. Well, it's cool for
Yeah.
some people that are into it, but
Sounds good, but yeah, like moving on. What else do we have on the docket today? Oh yeah, the so should we move into the Wayfinder free to play delayed hype that's going
yeah.
on Reddit? Do you want to introduce the topic, Tom?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so over on Reddit, there were discussions about Wayfinder is not going free to play in February 2024, as previously announced.
Mm-hmm.
And
So there's a few disclaimers, yes. Before we get into it, do you want to explain that or?
No, you go away with that one.
Yeah. So just so I think the original post on Reddit, it was just screenshotted by Sorrow, and Sorrow is essentially a moderator in the Wayfinder Discord. I don't think he's affiliated with Airship or like he's part of the dev team or doesn't know like what's basically happening, right? He's just obviously just works closely with all the devs and all that. So take it with a grain of salt. It's not confirmed. But what it is essentially like I think it's just kind of been confirming what we're all thinking, which is season 2 is firstly going to be most likely delayed. I think again not confirmed, and also the free to play was meant to go out in February 2024, but I think there's going to be a bit of delays with that. Was what he was insinuating, but again it's not confirmed. But I think we'll at least give our thoughts on like what is it? What is the case? Is it most likely going to be delayed? You reckon, or is everything going to be on time? We'll start with Tempt, Subby, and then I guess I will end it with our thoughts as well, Tom.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, me personally, I don't mind this news because like I do want the game to be like wicked polished, like for when like the flood of new players comes, because it will be a flood because there's been like almost no promotion for the game other than like I think I saw a video of Snarf and a couple of the guides like killing the first boss with like no commentary, just straight gameplay. And I mean that's a good way to like save money on the
Yep.
budget. I just want to make sure that the game is in a playable state like when it's actually out. And
Yep.
also I have a funny story about Sorrow too that I could talk about if you want.
Yes. Dish out. That's why.
I mean,
Yes.
I was a little bit of a promotion demon, I like getting my name out there per se.
For
So
sure.
when the the Discord, like it was
Yeah.
relatively toxic for the first like week because it was Wayfinder for the first week.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I would put my Twitch in the general chat,
Oh
and
no.
Sorrow found me and dished me a week-long timeout. But I spoke to him in DMs, and we
Yeah.
got
Of
everything
course. Yeah.
figured out, of course. But yeah, I served my sentence. I'm a free man.
Oh, I'm glad you're back on the Discord. Oh, okay. So Sarah's always at how to work is what I've learned.
Oh yeah, he's always
Oh.
watching.
No, that's funny, but yeah, no, I think with the wait times, yeah, look, I mean, I think it was largely expected. I think for the people who are playing regularly, everyone like knew in their hearts like there was no way this was the content patches were going to come out on time with all the issues we've kind of been trying to fix up with the disconnects and everything. So, I mean, like it shouldn't be much of a shocker, I think, for the community that there is like a 2-3 weeks delay. And I think that's very reasonable because it took like 3 weeks for the game to like be in a playable state from like as Temp was saying from Wayfinder to like actually Wayfinder, the progress. So yeah, I mean like look, it is what it is kind of thing, right? What about you, Sabi?
Well, my personal opinion is that obviously, as people who are like bought into early access, um,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for us it's not really a big issue because obviously at this point we're like veterans of the game, so we know what is
Mm-hmm.
what to do and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, I don't really care, and like Temp said, like I'd rather it be more polished than
Mm-hmm.
like rush it and all of that because
Mm-hmm.
most of us put so much money into this game, so we have a
Mm-hmm.
high hopes for it. So in that regards, I feel like it doesn't really bother me, like I said, because paid
Mm-hmm.
for the game, played the game, still have
Mm-hmm.
stuff to do. But overall, as
Mm-hmm.
long as it's polished at the end of the day, that's all that really matters to me, really. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's good. I think that's the consensus. What about you, Tom?
Okay, so I'm not surprised if it is delayed.
Mm.
And
Yeah, that's exactly it.
in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, it should be delayed
Mm.
because we are
I would be
quite
more concerned if it wasn't delayed, right? Because like we play this game every day, and if this is coming out on time. I'm like, oh boy. So I'm very
Yeah.
glad it actually is delayed. Yeah.
But I also want it delayed so they can kind of stockpile content as well.
Mhm.
Because the one thing we're all kind of feeling in the game this early on is a bit of content drought. The new event's great, and we'll get into more details in that a little later. But right now, after you've played the event, you got all the flashy stuff. Not really much to do than other than go back to farming epic echoes right now, right? And I'm getting to a point where outside of the hollow echoes, I've got almost got all the ones I need.
Yep.
So after that, not too sure what it is I'm gonna be doing, but it should be delayed, and especially with raids and that, like they're upcoming. And again, that's a discussion for a little later with the roadmap. All that stuff kind of it's got to be ironed out, and I basically before the game even goes free to play, everyone who bought a skin off the store and it's disappeared, that needs fixing. The weapon and abilities not working and stuff on some of them, that needs fixing. And just other little things like that, little nooks and crannies. The UI revamp, I think, needs to come in before that goes free to play. Just other bits and pieces, really. There's a lot that needs doing to really attract people into this, because that tutorial right now isn't gonna set it to them. So there needs to be some stuff afterwards to really hold them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of 50-50 when we were talking about it with other people if it would hold them or not. So they need something else there. And again, there's some bits on the roadmap. But here's the thing. Right now, all the good stuff's coming with Season 2. So until that actually comes out and we actually see what that's all about, I can't really give like too much more. But in the current state, as it is right now of today, it needs to be delayed. They should be delaying it.
Sure. No, I completely agree. Delay is always good, because I think the other biggest part is I think with the I think it's a good segue into our next topic is obviously we have the new Call of the Void event. It's 3 new quests. It unlocks a new boss, a new weapon, and it makes farming Talon of Pyre much easier because we got a reduced cooldown from 4 hours to 2 hours, right? And that's kind of like a little mini content patch before Season 2 begins. And I think again, like why this kind of a little mini content patch came out is essentially, I'm assuming, devs are anticipating a little bit of a delay in getting even Season 2 out, right? And I think it's just it was more, a content update was very much needed, but I think when the content patch hit, the biggest issue right now is, obviously you got like a lot of casual players who took a break from the game coming back into the game, and the servers are being tested again. And then I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Skylight has been a bit laggy here and there. You're getting a bit more DCs. Traveling time is like taking a bit longer than usual for the past few days, sorry. So yeah, like if just like getting like our normal player base back into the game is causing a bit of friction in the servers, I genuinely think they'll probably need the time to just kind of work out like handling a large player base as well,
I'm actually like I haven't noticed the loading, like the long loading, like people are claiming. Like that for
Yeah,
me,
right.
I don't know whether it's because some people are playing on PlayStation and that's a thing. Because I know,
Well, no,
like
me and
in Warframe, the
another guild
older
member were
consoles struggled.
all right. Well, me and another guild member were playing all day yesterday, and we were dying. It was just like 2-3 minutes loading screens, and then like Skylight was just like bugging out every 3 or 4 load-ins. So yeah, no, it's been fun.
Yeah, I
That's,
wanted to actually comment on that if you don't mind.
yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
for sure, Sabi. Chime in.
So you're saying about the problem with Skylight with obviously with the loading times and all that. I don't know if it's happening on PC as well. But I can confirm that on PlayStation it is happening more frequent than normal. No, at first it was like okay here and there. It was nothing like a big deal, right? So if any devs watching this, hopefully, that's like a problem,
Yep.
especially for PlayStation, because there's a lot of problems on
Well,
PlayStation that
that's a
I.
really good point you bring up, Subby. You're on PlayStation, right? And then I read a few on the Discord that PlayStations are experiencing more crashes from the new content patch. Is that true? Or
Yeah, that is true. I experienced a bit of it. I think when I
mm,
was going into the new event dungeon,
hmm
um, it was just stuck in like halfway. So it was loading halfway, and then it just disappeared. Like the text, when it says traveling into like Gloom dungeon or whatnot,
hmm
that
Yep,
disappeared,
yep.
and then give it like
Mm,
5 minutes, it just
right.
completely crashed the game.
Mm,
That is like a common issue that the game has at the moment.
hmm
Um, I don't know how it works on PC. I don't know if PCs like having the same problem as
Like
PlayStation.
on the because I'm on one of the top end builds on PC right now. So the only
mm,
thing I notice at that whole list is the
mm,
skylight by the Gloom gate. It will just
mm.
lag a bit, and then
Yeah.
after like 5 seconds, it'll be normal. I don't know what's
Mhm.
going on there, and it shouldn't be happening on a rig like mine.
Yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
going to assume some optimizations needed.
hmm
Really don't know what the cause. I don't think it's servers like on the actual servers playing up there. It probably
Yeah,
is
I'm not too
just
sure. I'm not a tech guy
how
at all, so
it's
yeah.
probably just how something's being loaded in or something like that.
I'm pretty sure what it is. So Snarf was
Yeah.
saying the reason the Echo buff was so brutal and the accessory buff or nerf, sorry, was so brutal was because
hmm
you're getting like large amounts of lag from people loading in with like an excessive amount of
Yeah.
items. You know what I mean? And then you
hmm
have like 20 people stacked into a lobby doing it. It puts like a lot of stress on the
Mm.
server. At
Yeah,
least
yeah.
that's what was like the reason for that like that large of a nerf. It
No.
might go back up in the
Yeah.
future, but
hmm
for
No,
now
no,
it's
that makes
definitely
sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, we had a nice like I think last week before the patch hit because like the player count decreased, so everything was kind of running smoothly. And then I think this week with players returning, you yeah, it was a bit iffy, but it was still I think very playable. It was never as bad as like what it initially was, so I think it was fine. But actually, like talking about the new content, what did you think about like the whole Call of the Void events, the quests, and the new weapon? If you got to try it at all.
So I don't know if I did something wrong or if I might have like not actually finished the quest line, but I could have sworn I finished it. I guess I didn't because I loaded back in and I'm still doing it. But maybe that was my bad. I do
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
I did the boss and I thought it ended after the boss. Like you collected the thing and then you talked to
Right,
Kestrel.
right.
But I think
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
need to like talk to Kestrel again because I just grabbed
Yeah.
the thing from the ground again by the
Mhm.
bell tree or something, you know. But
Mhm.
I'm loving the amount of stuff they actually fixed like within the
Mhm.
game. Literally like
Yeah, yeah.
10, 15 different changes this patch, which is like well, I mean they had 2 weeks, but with 2 weeks I expect like maybe 3 to 5 changes, not like coming up on 20, like 25 changes.
Yeah.
Like
There's a
it's
lot of
good.
changes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It means that they're taking it seriously and like, you know,
Mhm.
I think like the only thing I was kind of confused with was the Dragonkin blood nerf, but maybe there was like a game breaking amount of damage coming from it.
Mm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I I'd like to see gameplay fixes a little more before the meta fixes. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe it wasn't a meta fix, but maybe it was like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
actual bad bug. But I just
Mm.
when I saw that, I was like, I don't want to see like NIS like getting fixed. I'd rather see echo slot overslotting get fixed. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm. Yeah,
even if
yeah.
it hurts me, like I'd want to see a fair version of like what level I'm supposed to be. You know?
Mhm. No, no, no. That's very fair. How about you, Tom? You what did you think about it all? Particularly maybe like talk about like the void dungeons and I think you had like a couple of opinions on the Juggernaut weapon as well, right?
So yeah, the weapon. Let's start with the weapon. The
Yeah.
weapon looks cool, but
Mhm.
it plays. I really don't know how to put this politely either. It plays. It's just so wrong. Its weapon ability is it's pretty trash. It like
Yeah. Yep.
it's to me one of the worst weapons in the game.
Oh
On
wow. All right.
usability right now because like don't get me wrong, I see what they were going for, but its
Mhm.
execution
Yeah.
just isn't there.
Right. Right.
it's kind of missing it for me. It don't like with
Yeah.
some tweaks and that, it could be good, but
So it just needs a bit of like rework, like what they're doing to Senja.
yeah. So the like for those that don't know, the weapon charges you right when you push the weapon ability, it charges you forward. There is a point where after that, it will then follow up with an attack, and I have been able to get that follow up to work sometimes. However, if you interrupt it for the follow up attack, it doesn't always work. Or it will just turn your character around and hit backwards, even though you're aiming forwards. Not really sure what's
Okay.
going on there. And the other thing is, if the enemy moves out the way, you're stuck charging. You can't change direction, right? Or I've had times where I've been doing Dread Legion with it, putting myself through that madness with it, and it just went through Dread Legion, and I carried on running, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Just run off the cliff.
So
Yeah.
in terms of that, it's pretty trash. The new event was pretty cool. No, I was very
Yeah.
lucky that I got the new item drop on the first run.
Nice. You got the nice little relic from the get-go.
Yeah, I've seen people in guild chat and that they are not having a good time farming that.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty lucky. For once,
Yeah.
RNG was on my side in this game.
No, that's very good.
No more
And
200 runs of Storm Twins.
no, that's awesome. And then yeah, I guess like for the people who don't know about the Void Dungeon relic is it's like a new housing item. That's it's like the it's like the shrine where you put like imbuements to get like a buff. Like it's essentially that shrine you can place in your home, and it's meant to give you like a buff every 24 hours for I think 1800 seconds or something.
Yeah, we'll put that
Yeah.
on we'll put that on screen. However, I've been
Mhm.
told that the buff isn't working as intended right now.
Which is a shame. But Subby, have you tried the Void Dungeons? Did you enjoy the new content and stuff? Or
Personally, I didn't really get much into the Void Dungeon. The only time I actually like gone into it was to complete the quest.
Mhm.
So I didn't really have the chance to properly like farm out like the the new hunt for like the new hunt and all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
but from what I experienced, the Gloom Dungeon, I mean, it's for me, it's pretty much what you saw when you do your tutorial, right? It's like the tutorial area. It's pretty much
Mm.
same layout, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But it is a cool little, uh, like, I wouldn't say content, but like it's cool little add to the game, I guess. You know, it's
Yeah.
like engagement to the game, and
Mhm.
it's cool. I mean, and they're probably obviously going to add new things to the event coming forward. But for now, obviously, life's been kicking me
Mhm.
in the arse, so I haven't been able to uh like properly grind it out. But hopefully, maybe after
Mhm.
the stream, I'll probably play a bit. So
Yeah, no. That sounds good. Well, I mean, I personally like just love the new the whole dungeon concept, like the void dungeons. I think it was very refreshing. But like just taking a break from expeditions, which is just another layer of content, which was just really fun. And then I think I really do feel like the layout's changing in these maps, so it's very hard for me to figure out how like a dungeon looks every time I repeat it. So yeah, it's just it's very refreshing content. The bosses are fun to play with, and then you get so like gloom shards and a lot of imbuements to farm as well. Like if you're running low on them. Sphere 3 sounds to be the best place to look for the relic artifact as well. So if you're struggling, maybe just chuck to Sphere 3 and then hopefully you get it as well. And yeah, it's just a little nice content to enjoy before season 2 hits.
I wanted to ask something about the Hauser item. Do
Mhm.
you have to do you have to get a full arch like in order to get like a chance of it dropping? If that makes sense.
Um, yeah, I think so, right? Because it drops from a chest at the final boss. So I think if you die, you might lose Arclight. But I could be wrong on this. Do you know about that, Tom? Or Tempt?
I promise you, I've not played that event enough to
Yeah.
comment really. Like I got it on the first try. I farmed it for a couple of resources. Outside of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
like it's done for me, that event. It's not gonna keep me
Fair, fair.
playing that for 2 weeks. I'd sooner echo
Oh,
farm
okay, yeah.
purple.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There isn't really much to farm after you get the housing contest, I guess. But if you're low on imbuements, it's pretty good way to farm, though. Yeah, definitely agreed.
Yeah, I haven't been doing many of that event, but I did a couple of the boss fight, and I noticed like a bug with the beam where it's just like if you're b hopping, because I pretty much only b hop to move
Yep.
around, it will
Yeah, yep.
match your speed, bro. Like it will
Oh,
catch up
wow,
to you.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
second that
yeah.
beam locks on, well, it'll
Mhm.
just jump to your character model instantly, anyways. So like if you're
Mhm.
standing still, like you're about to get hit. But
Yep, yep.
if you b hop, it tracks faster like with your speed. I don't know if there's like
Have
a
you really
minimum
kind of scared
speed.
it?
My dog's like on my lap too, trying to jump up.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like so, Subby, have you done the drill boss at all? Like, have you attempted that, or is it just flat out you've just not really done much at the moment?
In terms of the obviously like the new hunt and all that, I have not really done the quest yet. Um, I just feel like from what I'm hearing about the weapon, it's not really worth getting like grinding just yet, unless they probably buff it in the near future. Um, so I don't. It's not really on my main list, like my main priority. To like, oh yeah, I need this weapon, but it's not. It's not. It's good for levels, but it's not
Mhm.
my main priority of the game yet. You know.
Okay.
I do like the new boss, but yeah.
Cool. With that said, then,
Mhm.
let's go on to the next little thing that we've got. So
Mhm.
this patch, for a very brief time, also brought
Mhm.
the prevention of leeching from hunts and expeditions, and it was implemented. It was around for a little bit and then removed.
Mhm.
The reason I added this in is because I know it's been removed right now,
Mhm.
but there was some controversy on Reddit about this because it stopped lobies leveling with their friends and stuff like that. Like, what are
Mhm.
your guys' thoughts on this, really? Do you think this is
Mm.
positive? And I'll go first, and then we'll cycle round. So we'll start with Tempt on the Wolfer, and then we'll go with Subby.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, for me personally, this is exactly what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um, but I think they should have allowed a bigger gap of power level. And by that I mean if you're 600 under, that's
Mhm.
fine. You're not going to be leeching too much. What really needs to be done right now is I think they
Mhm.
could probably increase that to probably around just under a K or something. Um,
Mm.
what really needs to be going on right now though is stopping
Mhm.
those level 1s and 2s coming into those endgame runs.
But I
And
mean,
that system would fix that.
but like I mean, like that's like a, but that's just part of like a world boss, right? Like that's what a world boss is. It's meant to be like all levels coming in. Like I get it. It's a shit feeling when you like grind everything and then like a level one comes in at the end to take the loot. Like yeah, I get it. But like that's
No,
just
no.
I think like what you got to deal with.
This wasn't for world bosses. This is for the hunt. Okay, so that would be like the bosses, like
Oh,
the first, and
right, right.
expeditions. So repository runs and stuff. This isn't for
Oh,
the open world
Town of
stuff.
Fire.
This is just for instant.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think this is
Sorry, I thought you
actually
were talking about.
something. Oh, sorry.
Mm. No, you go, Tempt.
I was about to say, I think this is something you might have like glazed over in another podcast because I do remember you,
Mm.
Tom, talking about this. And at first, I was like, you know what? I disagree. Like, I kind of like having the little guy in because I can help him get
Mm.
through it because I do remember being stuck myself. But the more
Mhm.
and more I just like I die and then they die after because it's just
Die.
obvious they're gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, wow, maybe there should be some sort of like restricting, like maybe level restriction, armor level restriction, like whatever it may be, like power rating. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I definitely think I think they turned off matchmaking too. Like what's it
Mhm.
called? Like the open matchmaking. I think you have to actually select matchmaking now in order to have people spawn with you. because a lot of
I
people
think
have
it's
complained
like a
about it.
switch, right? So it's just like before, what it was like you can turn matchmaking off, and then it was an automatic. It goes back on, but now it's just like if you turn it off, it's off. You have to turn it back on manually. I think it's just a bit of like like a ease of life kind of thing.
That
Because I
it's
know,
really good quality of life thing.
yeah.
Because I got
Mhm.
so sick of pushing that button.
But the only thing that was very annoying with expeditions now is you have to wait 30 seconds if you're in a group to end, and that is driving me crazy, man. I don't know if what you guys have been feeling about it, but
I don't know. Let's get some more
Mhm.
thoughts from Tempt and go on the Subby, I guess.
Yeah.
Like Tempt, give us a full rundown, buddy. Like how you're feeling on the whole thing.
On what? Sorry, my dog just sack tapped me. Oh my god! I'm literally like trying to tell her, go lay down, stop. I'm sorry. We're not talking about the hunts now, are we? The people. That's what I remember last. The levels and stuff.
Yeah, so more on like the quality of life of it as well. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
How we can make hunts better.
go with anything, buddy. Like,
Oh, I mean,
go with
I,
anything.
I have a couple ideas. I mean, I wanna see
Mm.
raids too, like later down the line. I have so
Mm.
many ideas that like, man, put me on the dev team, man. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see like 10+ players. Like even like with the world boss. I remember one of the first times I did Talon was it was just a bunch of hodgepodge, different level people, and it was like 8 of us, and we were just all just hitting the boss like it was whatever we got. You know, it kind of reminded me of like old school WoW, like World of Warcraft. Like just in the open
Mhm.
world, seeing other people, because there used to not be like looking for group like button you
Mhm.
press find your group. It would be like you would have to type in chat like, hey, who wants to be like in my party? Let's go like hunt this thing. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
want to see more stuff like that, and I definitely, in terms of like going back to like the lower level people like joining and stuff. I think I was more forgiving in the beginning, but now it's just happened so much. I'm like, wow, there really needs to be like a hard set restriction and like I don't know, like I feel like there should be a tutorial too on certain bosses before you get in. Like maybe or
Mhm.
something like that, like a video of like how certain abilities work on the boss. Like I
Well,
think
Mhm.
how low would you go on that restriction though? So right now we've covered level 1 and 2s, right? Like they should be flat out outlined out of the stuff. But in terms of, let's say you've got a level 30 and a level 25, and let's say there's I don't know, a 600 to 700 power gap, right? Like, is that too low for you? Are you happy to take them in? Do you think the game should exclude them? Like, what are your thoughts on that aspect of it?
I
Like,
think
how far is too low?
if it goes power gap like that, I feel like 500 has to be the gap. But right now, as it stands, the power like thing is already broken. Like on the the actual like expeditions and stuff. Like at the beginning of like me starting to play Wayfinder, I was killing things. I was minus
Mhm.
1500. You know, like
Yeah,
power
yeah.
recommended whatever, and I was still killing it very comfortably. So I'm excited for them to actually like estimate like what power level you actually need to be, because there's a difference between being like 2500 power level and like having 11k AP. You know what I mean? Like you can have
Mhm.
11k AP at like 2200. It's just like how
Mhm.
you stack the echoes and stuff.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
and the reason I bring that up is because like I think it was it tier 4 Dread Legion, tier 4 Hollow Heart and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, they're going over the power gap by a bit, right? So if it is based on power, eventually you would exclude yourself from being able to play with groups, if that made sense. And you could still be level 30. Um
Mm.
so that kind of got me thinking, how low is too low? Like I feel like there needs to be a little bit more
Mm.
in it to at least allow players to take on those maps.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, for sure.
yeah. Subby, how about you, buddy? Where are you on this?
Honestly, for me, it's just like I understand why it happens because obviously once upon a time we were in this phase that we were like a noob, we were like struggling to level up, and take it back to launch for example, yeah. like Temp said, it was like it was Wayfinder before it actually before it actually went into the
Yup.
game. So to that extent, I understand their struggles, right? But
Mhm.
like I said, it gets to a point where it gets on a nerve because let's say you try to like grind for a certain artifact or part or what you name it, yeah, and then you kill the boss, right? And then
Mhm.
I don't know, level 5 just comes in. You're just like, well, I did all the work, you know. It doesn't it it triggers something inside you, you know. It's just not a fun feeling because you know that you did all the work, but then someone just comes in and be like, hey, look, free loot, you know. It's like the
Mm.
Destiny. Like when I played Destiny, yeah, we were doing raids. Last minute guy came in for the team. He didn't do shit, you know. He just did like pop a couple bits and then that's it. He got all the loot. But the funny thing is, he got better loot than me. So I was like, wow, you know what? I spent 2 hours trying to raid this boss here, and you just got better loot than me within like minutes, you know. So in
Mhm.
that sense, then yeah, I understand. To like, I understand both sides. You know, I'm not too
Mhm.
biased about it. You know, but I'm more onto like my side because it is annoying now. At this point, you should really know what you're doing. You know, do some research. You know, do what you need to do. Like, don't bother other
Mm.
people. You get what I'm trying to say?
Mhm. No, that sounds good. Very fair take. I think, yeah, I mean, it's very nice to just like not have that level 10 or like level 8 person in a very high level sphere, and then they just don't do anything. If they try and they load in wrong on a one-off time thing, it would be okay. But it's more so to just kind of filter out the people who just load in, and then just try to get like levels off like other people trying to do the work, right? That was like the biggest problem we were seeing. So I'm very glad that that side of things is kind of patched up. But it is a shame, as you guys are saying, that
I mean,
yeah, you can't like just like play with the lower level peoples and kind of help them and have that part of the community, you know?
I mean,
I
they
mean,
should.
for me, that's not a problem. Like, um, you can call me elitist or whatever you want for this, but
Yeah.
they need to learn the game their own way. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
some of the people I have seen in end game, like doing the end game farms right now, is
Mhm.
shocking, and it's honestly shocking about their builds and how quick they go down as
Mm.
well.
Mhm.
Oh my god, when raids come out, this is gonna get pretty toxic, but.
Oh, definitely. Well, that's another reason. Like, I'm so excited
Yep.
for it because I made a YouTube video about like the artifacts or
Mhm.
whatever, and I was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
in the video like guilds are going to be looking for people that have all the artifacts, but some might be looking
Mhm.
for just like the ability power or just the healing, like whatever it may be. But certain ones are going to be more looked at than others, like by guilds. And regardless of like what people think, like that's just the facts. Like someone in the comments, I'm pretty sure was like, no guild cares about artifacts. And I was like, trust me, man. There's people that don't accept you if you're not all max level every character, all max level weapons, like best in slot. You know what I mean? Like I'm not,
Yeah, yeah,
throwing shade or anything. That's to each their own. They're gonna have like really good players, like really knowledgeable
yeah.
people.
Mhm.
I just think
Mhm.
people are going to have to understand there's always going to be a hardcore aspect of the game. There's always going to be
Sure. Yeah,
the
yeah.
highest tier, the highest level, the biggest tryhards, and I want to be
Mhm.
like there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Tempt. I'll back you up on that as well. I
Mhm.
am one of those people that are running one of those teams, okay? I have a very hardcore
Exactly.
team. It's not complete. And I will be looking at stuff like that. And I will be looking at what gear, how many characters you have geared, etc. How good you can play those characters, what artifacts you're running, etc. What potions you're running.
Mhm.
Because it all adds up. I am one of those people that will reject a lot of people that, like, don't think on the same line as that as well. Like, the team's there for the most dedicated of people. If you're not, then you can go to one of the semi-hardcore teams that we have, or you can go to a
Mhm.
different guild entirely. It's entirely up to you. But to get into my team specifically, you need to have the good shit. And if you're not bringing the good
Mm.
shit, and if you're not bringing the skill, you're out. Yeah, it's how it works in this game. Like, you can be the
Like
nicest guy in the world, but if you can't cut it, you're out the team.
it's not even just this game too. It's like every game. Like that's
Mm.
just how it should be. Like I don't know, for
Mhm.
anybody to be like, I don't know, not even like saying it just to me, but to say it to anyone else too. Like you got to understand, there will always be that like grindy person that is looking to be the
Yeah, the
best. Like,
hardcore. Yeah, for sure. I want everything min-matched, and I want to have like everything, the perfect team, the perfect. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's where I think like if you're like a veteran like us, you need that. You want that type of team as well. So like to just kind of like get a bit more off the out of the game, like just kind of focusing on the more nerdy stuff, like the mechanics. Like what, like one thing I've noticed, like what I'm doing a lot more is like when I'm playing with like swords or like two-handed weapons, like just trying to get the combos right, when to use like the weapon abilities, just getting the timings, and then using your like guild members as well, or like your teammates to just to get like new strategies, like to like flank them and like positioning. It's just been really fun, like all the leveling is all done and out the way, so now you can get to the nerdy shit, like and then like get gameplay going, which has been really really fun.
What I am enjoying seeing is I think weapon choices will come into it.
For sure, yeah.
For what they bring, not only buff wise, but on like how much break they do and stuff like that. I think this is where the nitty gritty details will come into it. More towards like I think season 2 needs to come out first, and they need to add the other stuff in to allow us to awaken the Wayfinders, have the better builds and the better weapon on the Echo slot side. But
for sure, yeah.
I feel like things will get a little try-hardy around here once all that stuff comes, and when raids come, and I feel like the first release of the raids it's going to be a new experience for everyone, right? So no one's going to really know like what they're up against until they play it, and then once it's played and people work out some strats and what works, then I think the weapons now be looked at more and taken into account with the potions and the echoes for the character. That's when all of that, then there's a certain trend of a meta, and people will be pushed into that. And if you don't go into that, you're gonna have a hard time getting into the top tier teams. I think you'll be okay at mid level and lower, like a learning team. But there are going to be those people that just want to hit that raid and nothing else but that raid on their nights that they do, and yeah, I just can't wait. It's so long off, but I'm pretty hyped for the challenge.
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
No, very exciting. Yeah. And I think like the next segment, I think we can move on to. It's probably I think like where we're kind of at the game. Which is essentially like I think it's mostly like a tempt question, and then like also how we're feeling as well. Just kind of following on with the roadmap discussion, how you're streaming right now, Tem. Like I know you're like you started exclusively just streaming 24 or 48 hours of Wayfinders to now just kind of maybe branching off to like I know you're a first person shooter fan, so you've been playing a lot of like shooters, and I think My Hero Academia is like a new game you kind of picked up as like just a bit of a break.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of trying not to burn out on Wayfinder, so I want to
Exactly. Yep.
explore other like games that are. I mean, it's October, November, so all the best games are coming out right now. Call of Duty's coming out
Sure.
next month. And yeah, I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike 2 that just came out, and
Yeah.
that's basically like where I started, honestly. Like, other than like Gary's mod, right after Gary's mod, I shot over to Counter-Strike when I was like 14, because that's when I could actually get a decent enough PC to play video games, other than just like a laptop for school, whatever
Yeah.
it may be.
Oh,
But
good times. Yeah.
I think when it comes to Wayfinder, a patch like what happened recently, like with the 20 changes, 25 changes, that's something I look at and I'm like, wow, like it's kind of good that I'm like not really like putting all my time into Wayfinder right now, because it's a little bit of like coming home to Christmas, like you see like
Yeah.
all the things that have changed. You're like, wow, I remember when this is like this, or like something like the Gloom shards. Like we're gonna be able to do craft multiple Gloom
Yeah.
shards. Like that is insane
Not
to me.
wait. Oh
Yeah,
my
like,
god.
instead of 30 minutes to craft 30 Gloom stones
Yeah.
or Gloom shards, I get to actually craft the number I can craft.
Yeah, that's
Yup.
been a
So
bit
ready.
since release. To be honest, it's like carefully like
Mm.
pressing the button non-stop to get like 40 glitch. Oh my god,
Oh
Amazing. It's
yeah. We
amazing.
have guild members who spent like 3 hours just crafting all the gloom shards, just one by one to get all their affinities matched. Oh my god, it's not fun, is it?
So I
But
mean, I've got this It should have been like a feature before the game even launched, you know. So I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
but are you
it
feeling a bit
should have
of
been.
but I was just
I
going to
do
say,
agree.
Subby, are you feeling a bit of a burnout or anything like that? Or are you taking a bit of a break or playing other stuff? Or like, are you just happy grinding out the content still?
I mean, for now, I'm kind of just playing other stuff really, like Temp. I
Mm,
don't want to burn out on Wayfinder because it is a good game. So I don't want to lose my, I guess, love for the game. Just like forcing myself to
hmm
just get every single item and all that.
Yep.
I'm currently, since I'm on PlayStation, I'm
Mm,
currently doing. I currently got back into the habit of like trophy hunting, so like 100%ing games and all that.
yep.
So I'm just
Love
doing
that.
those things.
Love that. Yeah. No,
Maybe
that
when
sounds good.
there's a major update for Wayfinder, then I'll probably get into it like proper like
hmm
so, but that's a long wait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What about you, Tom? How are you feeling with it all? Are you like content-wise? Are you feeling burnt out? Oh, yeah, with the game as well.
Okay, so I gotta look at it from a player and a creator, cause
hmm
like the whole YouTube thing. And that.
hmm
Right now, there is some like YouTube stuff I can do, right? And it
hmm
will, you know, get some views and stuff. But I'm not gonna call it quality. Like the game is lacking content from me right now. I'm
hmm
as I said, I'm getting to the point where I'm just about to get all the epics I need. I'm not too far off. The hollow ones is going to take me a little while to get. I
hmm
need a few more, but because of the endless survival farming method,
Yeah.
and there's a
hmm
short on that if you want to know how to do that. Getting like Wingrave built up, anyone that uses weapon power, or you need a bunch of like minor ability and heavy crit
hmm
echoes. That side's almost done. So it's just going to be like the AP echoes that you have to uh, go and farm. But yeah, there
hmm
could be more content. But like, let's talk about the roadmap though. Like
Yeah, yeah.
this is where the beef is. And a lot of this
Mm.
is coming with season 2, right? So we know confirmed that mounts are coming with season 2. We know
hmm
that the awakening system coming with season 2. The
hmm
Yeah, we also know with mounts they're looking at doing one of the biggest zones they've done yet, which is
Yep,
going to
yep,
be interesting because they want
yep.
to utilize those mounts, but they also want other traversal mechanics put into those maps, which is going to be great.
Right. Okay.
Um, the awakening system is the big beef, though. This is going to be the one where I think a little more farming for people. If you haven't started farming already, extra stuff, you
Outlet
probably
farming.
should go
Yeah.
and
So I think the
start
way
farming.
Awakening is going to work for people who don't know is essentially like if you have a level 30 character, you can. Hey, I see archaic bones on your stream tab. Nice, nice.
So I'm pulling
But
them up.
but essentially, like yeah. So if you have a character level 30 and you want to awaken him, you can awaken him using was it three of their items and then like a bunch of their vestiges and all that. And then once you awaken him, you get all the requirements done. You go all the way back to level 1, and now you can level again from level 1 all the way back to the new level, which might be like level 35 instead of level 30, essentially.
That
So,
that brings me on to my next bit though, okay? And that
mm-hmm.
is the XP scrolls. The weapon
Mm,
and the Wayfinder ones. So you're gonna be able to use them.
mm-hmm.
And in
Mm-hmm.
theory, this might not be actually be how it plays out though. You can use them to level from level 1 up to the current level, like to take that whole repetitive process out of it. I think that's how they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it. So again, they're another good thing to farm right now, to plan ahead, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
the other
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
we got is hard mode hunts. I'm not sure if they're
Oh,
coming
I'm
with
so
season
keen.
2, but they are upcoming very soon.
That's
We know
one good point
raids
you
are on the
made.
board.
I really need harder content. I think it's just getting to a point where when you have level 30 players and level Wayfinder, sorry, and level 30 guns, the content is just a little too easy, unfortunately. I think we just do too much damage to the bosses, and then you kind of lost like a little bit of the charm that you got, where like the fighting was meant to be a little bit harder and takes more time as well. Because I think you lose a lot of mechanics with abilities and DOTs and like a few of the nuances because you're killing things too quickly. You can't do like you're losing a fair bit of content like that or builds essentially.
I did
So I'm
actually think
very
about how they could fix that though. So
Mm.
I don't know if you've done this Grand Deceiver, right? For the
Yeah.
majority of Wayfinders, you can't choose them.
Yeah.
So they could have it where the boss becomes invulnerable and phases instead of allowing you to still take damage over.
Or just
Um,
buff their defense up. That's all they really need. I just need them to die like slower. You know?
I don't think that would be the answer though, because that's just basically increasing their HP and becoming a big a big dummy. I
I
do
mean,
think they need harder mechanics.
I mean,
That's true. Maybe both.
if you look
Mm-hmm.
at it, like for example, the hunt for the first ride, if you fight the first, even if you do like so much damage in one go,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a part like there's going to be phases that he's going to be invulnerable, so you can't do the damage after a certain phase. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
you did so much damage in the first minute or so, yeah. He's gonna do his phases where he goes up and then he like or he shoots those spikes things at you or whatever you want to call them. No matter how much damage you do, he's still gonna do that phase. If you get what I'm trying to say here. So it's like at that sense, it's good because it's capped where you can't completely kill him in like how in Warframe, for example, you can't complete the one shot boss like that, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
that sense, they do have that some bosses that withstand that kind of one shot killness, I guess you could say, like. But yeah, no, I know what you're trying to say. Like, obviously, have some sort of mechanic where, like Tom was saying,
Mm-hmm.
where they become invulnerable for like couple seconds at most, or something like that to just make it more interesting and more
yeah.
rewarding, I guess. So,
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's probably an unpopular opinion, but the first
Mm-hmm.
is a good fight in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if they did make it harder, and
Mm-hmm.
so they done more damage, or there was a little more mechanics that can't be choosed by stepping out the zone, force you to take
Mm-hmm.
those walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered Temptr's last podcast. He actually did. There was something about him and Snarf on that actually.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if they took the concept of how that boss works and then
Mm-hmm.
applied it to different instances, but made it again harder though, because the first
Yep.
isn't a hard fight either. You're not
Mm-hmm.
punished too much,
Yeah.
even on tier 4. So I'm looking forward to the heroic hunts on the roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't come with extra mechanics on the heroic, I'd be very disappointed. If they just buff the HP and the damage done, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even Dread Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very unpopular opinion here, but
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty dog shit easy, and should
Yep.
be a lot harder for what it is. I mean, the jumps are people like the bulk of people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
Some just don't understand the concept. There were a couple of guys I was teaching a fight to where they had build issues. So they were level 30 and stuff. They were just, I don't know why, they were just running like high defense gear on a silo and stuff, and not a lot of weapon power. So there's some build issues there, which I think some people will have going into that, especially as they go up the tiers on
Yeah.
that. Because if you don't, especially on that last phase, if you don't do enough damage,
You're
you
gonna have a
kind
hard
of
time. Yeah.
you're kind of screwed. So you're gonna be burning potions, and then you've got to really try and do that quickly without dying. Yeah, not a fun one.
No.
But they should take the concept of the first and make it harder.
Yeah.
And
100%.
heroic should bring additional mechanics. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think. Is it what do you call the?
Mhm.
Oh, what's the 2 items you can include to make it harder though? The shadow imbuements, right? The
Imbuements. Yeah.
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 Imbuements don't really do anything in this game but become an annoyance. They don't add any challenge. Like, I was really
Yeah.
hyped for these at first, and
Mhm.
yeah, just oh
Yeah.
wow, I've put a shadow abutment on. I must step away from the enemy. It's not hard.
Mm.
It's just annoying and
I think
No,
not
for
fun.
sure.
I think
Yeah.
out of most of them, Shadow has like potential to be one of the harder ones, but they would have to just
Yeah.
up the magic damage on everything. Like they got
Mm.
to make it actually like hit and hurt. Because the only thing right now that people don't like doing is the flora, and it's just because, like you
Yeah.
said, like it's an annoyance. Like I don't like,
Mhm.
I don't even like Chat gets mad at me. I don't shoot the flora. I just b-hop like through it, and it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. Like and like
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes I bump into one of the spores, but it's not like oh my god, I'm gonna die. Like I'd say the only one that's like actually probably really bad is the double chaos, because in some cases
Yeah.
like people don't have good enough computers to like deal with the amount of like things being spawned, and
Yeah,
even
yeah.
then like the damage still isn't crazy. Like you could lower the number of explosions going on and just up the number of
Mhm.
damage, and it would be that much harder, you know what I mean?
For
The
sure.
other
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
as well though is what are imbuements adding to this? Because by running an instance with imbuements, what are you gaining from
Mm.
this? Nothing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Like,
No,
where's my motivation to even bother with the system? I can skip
It's
all that.
it's supposed to be
I
the
mean, a little.
materials.
Well, no. Even for accessories, right? Like some accessories are imbuement specific, right? So you have to
Yeah.
put solar or like greed. That's what I've been doing in Hollow Woods, to farm some of Silas stuff and vent
Yeah,
stuff like. Oh,
but outside of that, like, it for me, they're constantly
Mhm.
being used in these. What? Why?
uh,
I
yeah. I
think
mean, like, yeah.
there needs to like they need to change the way the NPCs interact with the player, not just like the environment. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like
I
I
agree.
wanna
Yeah.
I wanna see like maybe like the boss does a different pattern of attacks or something, or maybe he
Mm,
has like say it's like Flora or something, like the boss spits like acid at you or something. Like
I
I
put
feel
out.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
they could totally like program that for every like mutator, because there's only so many
Mhm.
combos.
I think you hit the
Mhm.
nail on the head with that because that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was expecting coming into this. Like different
Yep.
attack
Mhm.
patterns or different effects, or like one you could increase the boss's HP by 100% on top, and one would increase the damage by 50%, and kind of really
Mhm.
game changer as well. Not just in terms of mechanics, but in terms of like what you're dealing with, how much damage you need to do, how much break damage you need to do. Little things
Mhm.
like that you would have to go out of your way to change your build up a little bit. But right now, it's take this character that's doing really well on this encounter and just blast for it.
Mhm. No.
Not
That's
not
yeah.
really
That's.
repetitive fun, like it's
But
it is
yeah, I
what
mean,
it
like,
is right now.
well, like, yeah, like, hopefully, like, all this stuff will be implemented with the harder content patches that are going to come out with the raids, as you guys said, and then the hard mode as well. And then, yeah, hopefully we get a bit more grindiness or like bit more challenge to use like Wingrave, I guess, like more like support Wayfinders with like DPS and like, yeah, have those like combinations going, I guess, for the game. I think that'd be a really nice update
The
and
good
adds
thing
another
though,
layer of depth.
the good
Hmm.
thing though is we do have the Affinity respec coming, so we'll give people
Yeah,
a
that'd be really
chance
nice.
to play the builds, and we also do have
Hmm.
the jobs, the daily
Daily
login
job for
rewards
experience.
are going
Yeah.
to be coming in, and
Hmm.
like some missions and stuff, which I am
Mm.
going off memory. Don't 100% quote me on this.
Hmm.
I am pretty sure that's coming with season 2 to also
Okay.
speed up the battle pass
Awake. Oh, okay.
XP, because people were saying, I believe there's some Reddit threads and some Discord messages basically
Hmm.
saying like, hey, look, I've put 40 hours into this game and I'm only such and
Hmm.
such on the battle pass. Like, this stuff
Hmm.
needs to be sped up. Like in other games, I could be like, a lot further along.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that is coming as well. They are aware that is taking way too much time, so
Hmm.
that will also speed that up.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah.
some of the other stuff we are getting, like neighborhoods, is obviously one we're all very
That'd
keen
be
to
really
hear.
fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Um,
Woo!
gonna
Neighborhoods
gonna
would
be
be
good.
really sick. Hmm.
Um, And with
But
that, the guild. So I've got here shared plots, and I've also got here guild neighborhoods. So guild Pacific neighborhoods is going to be great for Ret in general. Shared plots. Interested to see how is that going to be friends? Like how's that
mhm,
kind of going? We are getting some housing updates and some crafting activities. Don't
yeah, yeah.
really know too much on that. The main thing for me though is they have got planned here UI personally, like the UI and personalization side of it. So for those that are playing right now, when you pre-ordered, you had like titles and that as well. That's going to be coming in. There was a screenshot I saw going around the net where you could also see what
Mhm,
people were running.
mhm.
I think that's going to be really interesting, especially when raids come in. You can gear check people.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be yeah.
It will get abused 100%. Like you are going to have, you know,
Mhm.
but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a good addition for the stag teams at least. Because yeah, it says it here, player inspect. It's going to be good on that. So at least I can see if anyone's like holding back the team, it'd be like, look, change to this build instead, or run this because you're running that wrong. Or you can kind of
Yeah.
help people as you go along and stuff.
Mhm.
We've then got the pets revamp, and again, I think they wanted so you could have a pet follow you around
Yeah,
the game.
that'd be a long-term goal though. Like, I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
We do have
That'd
one
be
that's coming
awesome.
up soon, though, and that is weapon dice. We have covered this
mm,
on the previous video, and I will link that video on the left-hand side of the screen right now if you want to go check that
mhm,
out. With that, they are also adding the ability to dye the character's hair. I know with Kyra specific, it's like the little flame thing, so you can dye all that. You're not stuck
mhm.
at purple. The one thing I'm actually really interested in is how it works on Wingrave, because he's kind of like an old dude, right? So you could make him young. Dye his hair black or brown,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's a young Wingrave, so it's going to be good.
Mhm. No,
The
no,
voice
that
lines are also going to be added in for the Wayfinders, so might get some
mm,
more stuff there. But the personas. See, I'm mixed on personas, but the image here,
mm,
I believe this was for Kairos, but personas right now in this game, in the current state, and Temp, I'm going to ask your opinion on this, because I asked Atlantis, it's only fair I ask you. The personas in this game right now are kind of hit and miss. Like, you can't really mix them, you should be able to mix them. Like, what's your thoughts on armor sets versus personas?
Um, Also, are you talking about the ability to possibly like maybe pick something from the persona and put it into the armor set? You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like, there's a lot of controversy like regarding that. Honestly, I personally I've been making it work with the item sets. I got the Exalted edition, so I got a lot of
mhm,
the really good stuff. But I think as it stands right now, they might just need to just go with what the player base is saying and just like get rid of the whole persona idea and just make it all just
mhm.
item set like skin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I feel like the reason that it's not like that right now is because like clipping issues maybe. But I mean, I
Mhm,
really don't think it would take too long to like incorporate it onto like normal skins. Like I want to see the glowing venomous hood like on like a steampunk body with like the battle pass skirt. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot. I want to see
That'd
some
be cool.
crazy combos. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be really
definitely.
cool. But hopefully, yeah, in the near future. But I
Like,
think
the one
that's
good thing
yeah.
I've seen right on this with the personas is someone I can't remember if it's in one of the comments of the videos or whether it was on Discord or Reddit. It was somewhere.
Mm,
But someone said personas should
mhm,
allow you to change. Like, so when you buy them, it comes with its own kind of like ability skins. So let's
mhm,
take Kairos. Let's say I don't know. Let's take the Revenant skin that's out for Kairos right now.
mhm,
His savage rakes and stuff and his other abilities, or and it doesn't have to be all of them, but some of them should be around the theme
mhm.
of the persona.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're kind of like this deathly person,
Mhm.
change the savage rake animation. Make
No.
it something a little unique. It doesn't have to be too much. You don't have to go too
Yeah.
over the top, but just bring something to the character more.
No,
Other
for
than
sure.
like that's the only other thing I could say would justify personas if they did want to keep them separated. Have personas bring something that the others currently don't. If you're getting stuck with a look, what's the benefit to being stuck with that look? Because right now
Mhm.
there's none. But if they added something like that in, then there would be that
Mhm.
kind of way option. Like I could have really cool looking abilities, but I'd have to look like this. But I could uniquely dye it, or I could mix it up and
Yeah.
forgo the ability change and stuff. So
Mhm. No, that sounds good. I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of like cool changes coming up, a lot of things to look forward to, a lot of good content to look forward to, and I'm very glad we kind of dissected what we all are kind of anticipating, and how we can like incorporate like all the skins and personas and all that together. And yeah, I think we're right on time today as well. So I think we've covered a fair bit today. It's been a good pod.
So the only other thing I've got
Mm.
to actually ask is Temptr Subby's opinions on the
Oh yeah.
roadmap to really kind of polish that off,
Mhm.
because there was a lot of me talking in that, but like, I want to know what they're looking forward to on the roadmap, what
For
they
sure. Yeah,
any
yeah.
changes they want implemented. Because we also asked
Mhm.
Atlantis in a different kind
Mhm.
of context. So for
Mhm.
this podcast, we'll change the context a little. Like, guys,
Mhm.
is there anything you want changed on this roadmap? Is there anything you want in the game that you think should be in here right now to really make it stand out more and get the attraction the game should get at some point? Like, give me your thoughts is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, give me the rundown with the roadmap for you. Like, what's the highs, what's the lows, what you want changed?
What are you feeling, Subby? I'll let you go first.
Um, to be fair, the roadmap, um, I feel like obviously for an early access title, it is decent with the content, probably more than I anticipated, and I think most of us anticipated as well. Like we didn't expect this month's content to be added into early access. So my thoughts on that is just like it's pretty good in terms of just like obviously you have stuff to do in a game, so you won't really be bored to until free to play, I guess you could say. Um, but to actually go into like my favorite parts of the roadmap, I would probably just say like temp. I'm probably more excited for the mounts as well. The mounts and where your the pets you're allowed to actually take them out to the open world, and other people can see you like walking with your pet and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
feel like that's actually like even though it's like a minor thing, I feel like that's still a big part because you're kind of like showing off like, hey, look, I got this really cool pet, like you get what
Mhm.
I'm trying to say. So I guess like those type of things, those are probably the um main things I'm looking forward to. Obviously, neighborhood and when guild system comes into place into the game,
Mhm.
that's going to be big. And with the raids as well, as Tom said, it's going to be interesting. Like, um, so
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be it's a mad one, for a
for sure.
early access game. To be honest.
I actually wanted to bring up something that Tom was talking about earlier. Talking about I'm so happy you talked about it too, because I wasn't going to make a ticket about it, and I don't remember if I told Snarf,
Mhm.
but the item skins. If you buy a skin like in the shop, sometimes it doesn't appear. It's actually funnily enough, I can show it on stream. I bought the Chimera skin, and it's not showing up in
Mhm.
my inventory.
Oh no, the Chimera skin is
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It showed up. So actually, it showed up one
Yeah,
time, and I unequipped it,
yeah.
and then I looked for it, and it's gone. So it's like you didn't choose me.
Uh,
I'm not coming back. You know what I mean?
uh
Because it should
yeah,
be
it's
in
not
guns,
there.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it should be in shotguns. Yeah, right there. It should be there. Damn.
Oh, it is not.
I'm in the same boat with the sword and shield skin, and yeah,
Mm.
I think I covered the support ticket. Like it was just
Mm.
terrible support ticket.
Yeah. Oh no! I hope you guys get that fixed very soon.
That's,
But
I don't think it's going to be soon when support's telling
Mm.
people to go feature upvote the fix.
Well, exactly. That's
No.
why I was like, they're probably getting so many like bug reports right now. I don't want to like overflow them with anything. I'll report it when it matters. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm so happy you know about it too, because that means I'm not
Yep.
alone. You know,
No,
I'm
there's
not actually
definitely
the only person that knows.
there's definitely a handful of people on the same boat. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my condolences is all I can say,
Unlucky.
really. Yeah. But yeah, I think like that's that's it for the items we have for the pod, I think. And we
Ye-
did well on time today, voice. I think it's not like 2.5 hours. So yeah, no, it's very good, very nice and concise. Thank you guys for coming on. Do you want to do the closings, Tom?
Yeah,
Or unless
sure.
there's anything else we want to add before we
I can't actually think of anything. I like
Mhm.
because
No, I think we did a good job today.
yeah, this was a very last minute thing for me because like I've been delaying due to like working and stuff. So I do
No, you're
appreciate
Yeah,
good.
you
You're
guys
good.
being really patient with me on that. It just got a little hectic on the schedule of things, and
It's all good.
I actually missed uploading to YouTube for it as well. So, like, I promise I'll make it up to you guys watching and listening. Like, there will be an extra video coming up as well to make up for that. But yeah. So again, thanks Temptr and Subby for coming on.
for sure.
Ju-
Lovely to have you
Thank you
guys
for
on.
having us. Yeah, literally. I love being on this podcast, man. I love talking to you guys about
No,
Wayfinder. I mean,
we
we
well,
are
we
too.
ideally need to get Atlantis and Tempter in the same
Love you in the
podcast.
same class.
the
Yeah.
Because that's when I can really go pick their brains and watch them both play off each other a bit on that as well. I think that'd be
Yeah,
really interesting.
It's actually
that would
funny
be
you said
really
that too, because while I was waiting in the general chat, just for you guys to be like, hey, they're like, what's up? Because that's what I always do. I always like sit in the
Yeah.
chat and wait. But Atlantis pulled up and he said, Tempter! And I was like in my kitchen when I heard it, and I came in and I didn't have push to talk enabled, so I was muted. I was like trying to talk. I was like,
Oh,
oh
that's so
shit! Like
funny.
I left the channel and rejoined to like prove that I was still here. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, hold on, give me a second. Because it took me so long, I didn't want him to like leave. I was like, "Oh my god, how you
Yeah,
doing?"
yeah,
So like, yeah,
yeah.
we had a little talk before you guys got in
Oh,
here.
that's awesome.
Love
Yeah,
Atlantis, man.
well,
Shout out Atlantis.
yeah, big shout out. Friend of the show, friend of the pod. It's all up.
Exactly. Yeah, I think with that, I'm Tom, and I'll catch you in the next one, and
Yeah,
we'll
see you guys next week. Same time, same place.